heroes rise, the dying world's new modern skies. Rushing there where power we fight, strength that breaks unite in the night. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story told in this love imagination mode. With every stroke, adventures unfold, release in my soul, soul and soul. Guidance in hand and worlds to explore. Roll the future, hear the dice roll. Gleaming realms of muscles drawn. Together in this place where we belong. Golden spells casting dreams until the dawn. Leveling up and the world to follow. With painted heroes shining bright. Venturing onward in the endless night. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story's told in this storm imagination mode. With every stroke, the factors unfold. These are our soul and soul. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story's told in this storm imagination mode. With every stroke, the fate to fight for peace of our souls and soul.
Hello, good evening, happy Friday people. Welcome to the only place where you need to be on a Friday night at 7 PM UK time, that is. That's Minis-N-Muscles, the place where the brawn meets the brush. No, that's not even a brush, but that's a brush right there. Welcome, happy Friday. I hope you are all well. Let's remove this cable whilst it's hanging dangerously in front of my face. Move that out the way. How are we? How's things? How has your week been? Hopefully it has been a good one and you are feeling good. You have reached the weekend. We are here. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. There's no need to open the laptop. There's no need to stroll through the office doors or the work doors or whatever it is, wherever you do for work. Hopefully you have your weekend off. If you're not and you're a shift worker, hopefully you've just had today off. Even better, right? Because nobody works. Well, I say most people work Monday to Friday. So I always imagine, because I've always had a Monday to Friday job. If you're not working Monday to Friday, if you're not working Monday to Friday, people that do, and you go into town and stuff, it'll be really empty. So that's my kind of vision. But anyway, before I go into a complete tangent, there we go. We are here. Welcome. Last week, apologies, huge apologies, because my lazy arse, or I say lazy arse, it wasn't really laziness, it was just the fact that I wasn't feeling too well. So last week I wasn't very well. I think I actually might have caught COVID. I think that's possible. I think it's possible. Don't like to utter the C word, but I think it's possible that I did. But anyway, I am back now. So a bit of a cold still, bit of like snotty, you know, but not too bad. Feeling a lot perkier. And it's always good to feel perky when you've got a 2-hour stream to do. So apologies that last week I could not do my stream. It was just that I was coughing, I was snotting every 2 seconds. It was an absolute shower of poop. You wouldn't want us in that. Yeah, so I'm glad that I didn't. But yeah, we're here. Anyway, welcome. That was last week, but the week before, we were painting our immolator tank. So here she is in all her glory. It's looking pretty sweet. There's not a huge amount to do left, really. There is a fair bit, but there's not loads to do. So I reckon we could knock quite a bit of this out tonight. Of course, we've got our mini Steve. There he is right there. I did change his weapon. So I've got some spare Games Workshop weapons. I actually sort of took the bolt pistol and then put a melter gun barrel on the end as well, just for aesthetics, so it looks cool. And also, if you look very carefully on his arms, I have done his tattoos so it matches. So he has those. Of course, we've got the base as ever. So we've got that big base with that goblin head. or 2 goblins' heads actually, one either side, and then the goblin body in the middle. So we've got that, or it's actually an orc, or an orc, however you want to call them. So we've got that. He's all looking good. So yeah, today we're going to be catching up mainly on trying to get this to a point where it's almost finished. It'd be really nice just to get this one wrapped up, because we've been on this a couple of weeks now, so there's not a huge amount of bits to do. I'll try and get some of the main colours done tonight, and then during some downtime I might have to tidy up a little bit of detail. But actually it is looking I took a look at it the other day and it does look pretty cool still. I am quite impressed with how this has turned out, so I'm chuffed with that. So we've got that to paint, and that's our main sort of modelling part to this evening. Apart from that, main discussion for the evening, I was just going to chat about Dungeons and Dragons, just because on a Thursday I have my weekly Dungeons and Dragons game where I host some friends here in the man cave, which is always good. And it was just a cool session. It sort of went off on a tangent a bit, and the story sort of unfolded a little bit further than what I thought it would. But that's still really cool, and I just thought we should divulge on sort of creating immersive storylines and ideas for Dungeons and Dragons, really. So that's our main chat. As always, I always get distracted from the main chat, and we end up talking about other bits and bobs, which is completely okay. So if that happens, don't worry. If you're new to Minis-N-Muscles and you find that I'm straying from the topic, that will be why. So I do apologise in advance. Our muscle moment for today, I wanted to talk about it's not really about dieting, but we'll cover it in a bit, but it's more about understanding the relationship between your weight and your appearance. I wanted to cover this because, as I like to do here on Minis-N-Muscles, it's not just talk about geek hobbies, but I want to sort of spread positivity, across the world. Hopefully, well, we are across the world because there are people in various different countries that watch, but also it's about positivity for the mind and the body. So I wanted to talk about that today. I do have a special segment today, a special sort of segment maybe after the muscle moment. I have got with me, because the last show that we did, I talked about collecting stuff, being a big nerd and a geek about collecting things and finding things to collect. So I was talking about, jokingly talking about tax avoidance and, having assets that you can collect as a bit of fun, that sort of connect to your geek culture that you enjoy, but actually will be worth money in the future, and you might be able to pass it on to people without any implications. So I have got a box of Pokemon. There we go. So I've got a box of Shrouded Fable Pokemon. I chose this box not because it's got the box with the highest value cards inside. I just chose the box because I love the colours. Bright green is my favourite colour, so I chose that because of the bright green, and the purple or the pink sort of contrasts really well against it, so I just like the look of the box. So I bought that. So we'll open that on the stream and we'll see if we find any cool cards. I thought that would be quite a cool little thing to do. So yeah, that's our special. And then of course throughout the whole show we're going to be continuing with a painting of our Rhino conversion into an emulator tank. Because actually, if I can get this to a point tonight, I'm going to take this tank with me and use it on Sunday in a Warhammer 40,000 battle. Come on, Sisters of Battle. So yeah, so that's our sort of agenda for today. So I do invite you, as always, to jump in and, fill the chat with all the goodness, ask questions all the way through. Let's have the chat. Let's make it a community. That's what I love doing here. I love chatting to you guys and girls. So we've got first chat coming through, and what we got? Oh, so Honey Ann is saying, you said the word diet as I'm eating a bunch of chocolate. Don't worry, I had some chocolate too earlier. It's okay. Everything is okay as long as it's moderation, right? It's about learning and understanding what that moderation is. But I'm terrible. Some days I will smash a whole pack of biscuits or a pack of cookies, just because I'm a greedy get. Anyway, right. Let's continue and let's move our camera across so we can see. There we go. So we got our Mini. There's Mini Steve. There he is. If I just flip him over, you might be able to see his little tattoos on his arm. You see that one there? And if we go to this side, you can just make them out. But if you had the model with you, you'd be able to see. But yes, they are there. He does have his little tattoos. So we'll just place him to the side for now, because we don't really need to do too much to him at the moment. But we just need to take a look at this model. Let's zoom out slightly. We just need to take a look at this model to understand what we're going to do tonight. So, last time we did this banner, didn't we? And we sort of just finished that off without any real detail on it, but we just gave it the base colours. So that is good, I think. Yes, that's good. We've got these on the side. We could do these little small details across these banners. There's sort of we could do this. We need to repair that silver there, actually. That is the gunner. She hasn't had any attention yet, really, apart from the red. So we might start on the gunner, actually, because she could do with some colour. We've also got this sort of odd little loudspeaker thing here. That's quite cool. Maybe we should look at doing that as well, because that's quite a nice little piece. And then you can see that there's small details here, like let's get a pointer. So there's small details here, like this little section here in the centre. There's the lights. There's the sort of skull and light on the hunter killer missile. There's the front of the flamers. We could do a bit on the front of the flamers. My wonky flamers. Same on this side, sort of a mirror image. We've got over here, we've got the candles. We did start the candelabra type, whatever it is here. That candle, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. Jewish people have them at Christmas and stuff, and they have candles laid out. I just can't remember what the bloody hell they're called. I've forgotten. But we've got those there. What we got over this side? Yeah, just more of the sort of small details across here. Nothing too crazy. Alright, we do have the pulpit, but I do need to get some green stuff on that to take away, because the pulpit is actually made up of this stained glass window. So what I want to do is just smooth that over. So I could just get a file to that and file that down, or I could get some green putty on it. I'm not sure yet. On the back, there's some tiny little bits on the back. Although the door's open, so we don't need to worry about that. But there's a tiny little bit in here. And then just tidying up around the tracks where I've sort of painted silver. So not a huge amount, really. It's pretty insignificant. So let's have a look. I hope you've got your paints ready. As always, I've got my filthy on the outside, clean on the inside water. I've got my wet palette ready. And I think I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's get some paint out, Steve. Let's first of all, let's just get our paint brushes wet, because that's always good. And get a couple ready and primed. So tell me about your week, guys. How's your week been? What have you been up to? What's been going on? Are you well? There must be something that you guys have done over the past week that's been pretty cool. Hopefully there is. Right, okay, so where do we start? We said we were going to look at the gunner, didn't we? So we've got this bolter that we need to do, a heavy bolter, so yeah, we'll probably crack on with that. We've got some white to put on this lady here as well, so let's just get some colours out. We've got some white there, we've got some reds. What else do we need? We'll need some gold, because gold is always prevalent on this model, and some other metallic colours. So let's go for that one, and let's go for that one. Just so we've got some metallics available. Black, just to tidy things up in case we make any messes. Silver, we need some silver. Right. Okay, I think we could be good. Okay, cool. Right, let's start mixing these paints up anyway. So yeah, how's your week been, guys? What's been going on? What's been happening? I'll chat away whilst I mix the paints as usual on me rather ominously sounding machine on the right hand side here. Trust me, it is a paint mixer. Look, there you go. See? It's not me being weird. What's been going on? I'll tell you about my week this week. Been a fairly busy work week this week. I have done some mini painting this week of my own, not the tank. So I actually started to paint this lady here. I'll actually show you because she sat right next to the table. So for my Sisters of Battle army, I've managed to paint this model. It's not finished yet. As you can see, the flames on the top are not finished, but you know, she's not bad. She looks pretty decent. Oh, let's get her that way. There you go. Yeah, so I might take her. In fact, I'm going to probably take her in my battle on Sunday, because a buddy of mine who was meant to be teaming up with me can't make it. So actually, what we're going to undo instead is going to just double my points. So I'll just have double the amount of Sisters of Battle on the battlefield, which is quite cool. I've never played with that many sisters before, so that's going to be pretty mental. As usual, I'll probably forget everything as I go, but never mind. So anyway, main topic of today, let's get that started. I wanted to talk about playing D&D and trying to make it sort of fun and interesting, and you know, without losing tempo or without losing the concentration of players that are in your group, right? And it's quite a hard skill to do. You don't realise how difficult being a dungeon master is until you become one. So it's very easy to sit on the sidelines and go, oh yeah, it's easy, I can do that, that's not too hard at all, you know. But actually, being a dungeon master is very, very difficult. It's a bit of a skill. So when you watch these people on YouTube that do it professionally, and they sort of flow through things like magic, it doesn't quite work like that when you're playing yourself, and that can be quite nerve-wracking. So, but try not to worry too much. It's not the end of the world if you mess something up. I messed something up the other day, actually. Well, not the other day, not this week, not last week. It was about 2-3 weeks ago. I messed a part of the game up. So I wanted to put a maze into the scenario, and for the players to go around the maze. And I had two ways of doing it in my mind. I thought, right, okay, the ways they could get around this maze, either I can draw it on the map, what they see, and they can sort of unveil it and we can draw it, or we can do just theatre of the mind. Theatre of the mind is just sort of describing the maze and allowing people to draw the picture in their own head. Now, I started doing the drawing, physical drawing, and it was absolutely terrible. It was awful. And it wasn't interesting at all, so I kind of quickly rushed the players through that just to get them out the other side. And that's kind of what you need to do. If it's not working, don't worry about it too much. Leave it and move on. But when you're kind of setting the scene for your players, it's nice to make atmosphere. So it's really good to, you know, use things like background music like we've got here. Remember, I always bang on about Pocket Bard being absolutely epic. That's what's playing our music tonight, or our background music. It's really good. It helps, especially when you're trying to set the scene for your players, and you know, you're trying to have some spooky feel. And if a little app like that, or even something like Spotify, and you can just play some music that conveys the message you're trying to put across, it's really helpful. It allows people to sink into that feeling. So you've got that you can use. I also, whenever I'm doing it, I have started trying different lighting. That's quite hard to do. Lighting is pretty difficult because you always, you know, sometimes when you change your lighting, you then, people can't always see, or you might not be able to see. And I'm not convinced that lighting's right. I saw it on a YouTube live stream and I thought, okay, I'll try it. But I'm not convinced yet that brings much to it. So lighting is not always that great for building out the atmosphere. Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. Hello, how are you? Anfield Road Layout in the... That's a hell of a name you've got there. Just seeing you there. I shall say hello to you, sir. Or madam. I don't know who you are, so apologies if I've got your pronouns incorrect. But hello, how are you doing? I take it you're from Liverpool. With the word Anfield Road. Tell me more. But yeah, what else was I saying? Crikey, I've got put off there, or not put off, but confused about what I was saying. Anfield Road, because you're new to the channel, you'll find that I do this all the time. I forget the words that I'm saying. So, yeah, I was just talking about lighting effects and things like that. I've not found them to be that great for D&D games. They don't really help as much as what I thought they would. Nice in a professional environment, I guess, if you've got someone pushing a button for you, but not so great if you're doing it yourself and, you know, you're in the man cave and it's not really working. But music is one that I do advocate for. Is there anything that you guys use in your games at home when you're playing? Drop it in the chat, let me know. So I do use props, so I use a couple of props. So obviously in D&D there's a big part of that is about miniatures, and hence why, you know, I like painting things like Warhammer models, because it's miniatures. So I always try to encourage players to have a miniature. Not everyone enjoys that part, but yeah, you know, I just find that when you have a miniature, it kind of gets people engrossed a little bit, and they get more invested because they can see a physical thing. And if they're not willing to buy a miniature, then I normally get one and paint it and just stick it on the table for them. That's normally my way to do it. Anfield Road is saying he's good, or they are good, just working on a Metcalf card kit for my train layout. I am a model train channel. Oh, nice. Nice. Well, welcome along. I haven't done model trains for a long time. My granddad used to have, when he moved into his house, the guy that owned it before him had model trains running throughout the entire loft. It was pretty crazy, like absolutely everywhere. And his loft was massive as well. And he had model trains running through there, which were pretty cool. So I enjoyed that, but I've not had the opportunity yet to get into model trains. Or the space, actually, because you do need quite a bit of space. Scalextrics, I've tried Scalextrics. They're alright, and I've got an RC car. But not ventured into model trains yet. There we go. So we're just doing a little bit of detail on our sister of battle that sat in the top here in the turret. We're just applying a little bit of that. A little bit of Corax white for some of the details. There we go. Tell you what though, I think over the past couple of weeks my eyesight's getting worse and worse. I seem to be sort of really squinting at stuff now. So maybe I need to go back and get my eyes checked. Ironically, the blooming the what's it called has been what they called opticians has been sending me letters, so maybe I should go back and get my eyes checked. Never mind. But yeah, back on the D&D theme for our general chat. So Anfield Road, as you've not been here, I've not seen you here before. Maybe you've been lurking without chatting, but usually what we do here on Minis and Muscles is we have a kind of generalised topic for the stream just to chat about whilst we're building or painting models. We also have a part that's called Muscle Moments, so we talk about fitness on the channel as well, hence why the channel's called Minis and Muscles. So we do talk a little bit about fitness, not a huge amount, about 10 minutes or so. Today is quite special because I've actually brought along with me some Pokemon to unveil. So I bought some Pokemon to unveil. And the last stream I did, we spoke about collecting stuff. So just like model trains and things like that, we spoke about collecting things. And Pokemon was one of them. And I thought, I might just give it a go. So we're going to do that later on today. And then it goes back just to the general chat. So that's kind of the layout, the format that we have here on Minis and Muscles. So hopefully you will find stuff that will be interesting for you. And like I say, today's topic is, like, generalised topic is about Dungeons and Dragons, playing Dungeons and Dragons and making things quite immersive for your players, and trying to build out a really cool storyline for them without, you know, panicking too much. So I don't know if you play Dungeons and Dragons, or if anyone else that's watching plays Dungeons and Dragons at all. If you do, drop it in the chat. Let me know. There's a few of you in the chat room right now. So just let me know. Yeah. Just trying to get this little fleur-de-lis done on this side. And we'll go over this side and do the same here. Yeah, so what's it talking about? So we were saying around lighting. So the one thing I do like is music for Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's very thematic. Lighting, not so much. Props. Now this is an interesting one. I do get my players, as I said, to use models, or I try and bring in lots of models, just because the visual aspect, having a very small visual aspect, is really, really cool. However, I do other stuff as well. So to give players a little bit more interest in what they're seeing, I've done various different things. So for example, it was actually another maze that I was running, and in this maze, rather than have people trying to use a theatre of the mind, I created an entire maze on Minecraft. So I used Minecraft, had an entire maze on it, and the screen behind me, when I was dungeon mastering, I had the Minecraft screen on, and I was just controlling the player and saying, right, go left, go right, and I'd put in secret rooms in this maze, I'd put in objects that they can pick up with, interact with, and they just had to find their way through this actual maze. And it was bloody brilliant. And the players actually really liked it. So it's, you know, that's really cool, where you've got your sound going, you've got people running through this maze, and it's super, super immersive and gives the players a feel like they're really in that world that you're creating. So I really liked that as a prop. But I do bring other props in. So like I've got this sort of Da Vinci code breaker box that I can set codes on, and when the players might be out and they find an item or treasure, I can actually give them this little code breaker in person, so that they can see, so that they can actually see something and interact with that object to try and break the code. Excuse me. So I was saying in the chat, Anfield Rose saying I've got 26 feet 4-inch loft and 8x4 in hobby room. Wow, just started on the airbrush. Nice. Yeah, so I have got an airbrush. I just haven't got around and used it properly. I'm waiting for the right opportune moment to do that, but I am, and I should do that really, because the airbrush is really cool. You can get some great effects from an airbrush. You really, really can, without having to be a pro as well. And that's part of what this channel is about, you know, talking about little tips and tricks for painting to bring your miniatures out without A, spending a lot, or B, having a huge amount of talent, because I don't have either. So Honey Ann is saying I've only played D&D once. My group was not really into the game, but everyone did dress up as their characters, which was fun. Oh, that's super cool. The DM did build out a map, but no lights, music or miniatures. But still, dressing up, that's another cool thing that you can do. I did that recently with my group here. I didn't DM actually for that session, but one of the players in the usual game did DM, and we all dressed up as our characters, which was cool. No, we didn't dress up as our characters, sorry, we all dressed up smart. So we all came up in like smart clothes. So like suits type thing, but it was still fun, you know. Dressing up, I think, is quite an amusing one to do. Anfield Road is saying hi, Honey. And Honey's been very polite and saying hi back. Not that Honey is not polite, should I say. Everyone in the Minis and Muscles chat is very polite. So let's just keep that on point there. But Anfield, you'll be appreciating me painting red right now. Or are you a blue, actually? That's a good point. Are you a red or a blue? I would assume by the word Anfield, you'd be a red. And for those who don't know that I'm talking about the two teams of Liverpool. One being Everton, one being Liverpool. So there we go. Oh, so that's just one side of the bolter done there. So I'm just trying to give it a little bit of colour just so it looks a bit different. And you've not just got silvers all the time. Or you've not got, you know, the same colour just repeating through the model. You are going to have your primary colours. But you want, you know, maybe 3 primary colours that you use. Mine being black, silver and red. And then you're going to have a few highlight colours throughout. I mean, this stained glass window is very different because, you know, it has to be for what it is. But that's actually fine because it just draws the eye away from the multiple silver areas or the multiple red areas or whatnot. So that's absolutely okay. And that's another sort of tip for you if you're painting your models. Try to stick to like 3 primary colours throughout your model and just see how you get on. 3 primary colours. I'm just going to adjust my light. 3 primary colours and then just add detail colours. So if you look at our tank here, blacks, silvers and reds are the 3 primaries really. There's not a huge amount of other colour in this. It's just detail colour. So a little bit of gold here, a little bit of gold there. Just to make little features stand out. But yeah, that's usually how I paint if I'm doing models. Unless I feel a little bit crazy and I go off script. But yeah, so back in the D&D world, as I was mentioning earlier, you know, trying to bring in those thematics and bring a bit of drama and tension. So what's nice especially when you're changing the scene or you're moving from one space to the other and you can change the music or you can bring something in visually to excite the players that are around you. That's really important because ultimately in your game, what you want to be doing is making it fun for the people that are around you. That's the only reason why I DM, because I want the people to have an awesome time. I love the game and I just want them to have a good time too. I don't do it for me, I don't do it for kicks. So I don't, you know, even the other day the guys are saying, oh, you're rolling really badly and you're losing, as in when I roll for the enemy characters, and they say, oh, you should fudge your rolls, and I'm like, no, I don't fudge the rolls, I just roll as is. But sometimes the dice aren't with you. But that makes it all for a better story, right? When things don't go to plan or the party manage to wipe out a big enemy really quickly, that makes it exciting. Makes it different. Or it could be vice versa. The enemy managed to wipe out the party really quick. So it can happen both ways. So just putting a little bit of red in there. So yeah, so I talked about physical props, talked about sound, and now it's really about immersive storytelling. So when you're, you know, trying to convey what the people are seeing in the game, you have to be super descriptive. Now, this isn't necessarily my forte or my major skill set, but I do try to write stuff in advance. When I know... Oh, I've just gone out of shot, sorry guys. When I know what I'm painting, I do try to talk about... Sorry, when I know what I'm doing in the D&D game, I do try to sort of plot something out, so I have some descriptors, and I do have loads of notes. Talking of notes, what's going on in chat? Oh, Gav is saying that Wednesdays this channel should stream some video gameplay. It should do. So you missed it, Gav. So only a few weeks ago we were streaming a video game. So we did Space Marine 2 on the PlayStation 5. We streamed that. That was very good, actually. That was a good little game. Quite difficult, but I got my ass whooped a few times. But, you know, that's how it is. Why are you volunteering to to stream as well, are you, Gav? You want to be part of the streaming crew? Right, giving that a little bit of colour. I need to get some silver on there now, I think. Just wash that brush off. Anfield is saying, just got the Duncan Rhodes paints. Ooh, Duncan Rhodes paints. Oh, okay. I'll have to have a look at those. I've not seen them before, not heard of them even. Are they specific or more synonymous to model train building, are they, Anfield? Or is it just models full stop? Only because I've never heard of them myself. Not to say that I'm the fountain of all knowledge, because Christ, I don't know anything. But yeah, I just wondered whether they're specifically certain types of paints or something. Because all the paints that I use on these types of models are water-based paints. So it's all sort of it's pretty weak stuff. Whereas some model train stuff can be the hardcore paints. But yeah, so let me know. Drop it in the chat. Let me know what they are. Oh, Warhammer. Duncan Rhodes paints for Warhammer. Oh, okay. Crikey. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google that. I do not know. I do not know what they are. But that's saying I'm not. As much as I love the game, I don't know everything about it. So. I love learning new stuff. So yeah, I'll take a look at that. I'll find Duncan Rhodes paints. And I'll take a look. That'd be pretty cool, actually. And to be fair, that's not a bad shout and not bad timing, because I use Citadel paints at the moment, and they've just got worse and worse over the years, and I'm really kind of disappointed with them recently. Especially when I've changed one pot for another one, and I've just been like, oh my god, the quality of the paint is crap. It's really going downhill. But yeah, so I might have a look at those Duncan Rhodes paints. Alright, I shall have a look at them, my friend. Thank you very much for the recommendation. Yeah. Oh, so what we're talking about on the main topic, what we're chatting about. So I was chatting about descriptive storytelling, that's right. So what I do, and again, this is just what I do. I'm not the gospel on making D&D games, but what I try to do is I have a couple of scenarios built in my mind about where the party could go. Obviously, because it's a free world in D&D, you can go absolutely anywhere and do anything you want. But what I try to do is I try to write a little bit where I think they might go. So I might have a couple of characters that I want to introduce to the party that will give them a certain mission, and I know roughly where they're going to go and how it might play out in the terms of the other characters or NPCs they might meet, and the items they might find, etc, etc. So with that, all I do is I just write it out into my notes on my iPad, and then just title the notes, just give it a little bit of a description, nothing massive, so I can just go to that page during the game, open it up, and just as long as I can find it, because I write so many notes, my notes section is absolutely awful, so I have to find the right notes section in the first place. That normally helps. But once that's done and we're past that point, you know, it's easy enough to then go and sort of give them a bit of direction. And in that description, it's about using, and I don't really use big words. I'm quite a simple individual, so I use I'll go on the thesaurus and find big descriptive words for stuff, just so it sounds more interesting. So rather than saying, oh, they went through the field in the long grass, you know, you're just saying, you know, something along the lines of, as the party entered the field, the reed-like grass, approximately 2 foot tall, brushed past the player's legs. It smelt like X. it sounded like that. So I always try to put in the descriptor of what they're seeing, a smell, and a sound, because that really does help people identify where they are and what they're doing, right? So I found that a very useful thing to do. So remember, sight, taste or smell, and what they hear. If you stick to those three, you should be pretty good. You should be pretty golden, he says. Right, okay. That's that bit. Alright, how are we going in the chat? I'm doing some video on the painting the airbrush. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, I need to break out my airbrush as well and set that up and actually start using that in anger. So they say. Yeah, what else do I want to talk about D&D? So I wanted to talk about crafting worlds and building out a world for your players to explore. So there's obviously loads of books that you can buy that give you all this information. Will say, oh, you know, the Feywild looks like X, or you know, Avernus looks like Y, and it will just give you descriptors. But it's quite nice sometimes just to build your own little world for fun, and you know, give yourself free reign on creating something really, really cool. So when I'm building out worlds, I usually first of all start with just basics, places, in those places, the people they'll meet, the shops that might be there, or the points of interest that might be there in that area. That's generally the three basics I start with, and then you can start to build that out from there. So you can build like character pages, so NPC pages, and write about what this non-player character will do. You can talk about where the points of interest are and what would draw your party to them, and then try and tie those in with any current hooks that you've got. So if you've got your party on a quest defeating an evil wizard, you know, well, maybe the wizard's mother lives there or something, you know. So try and always tie it back to your hook. There we go. Let's get some of this colour out. Oh, you've retracted it. So we're saying, what software are you using on the 2-can setting? Oh, 2-camera setting. Oh, so I use OBS. That's how I do mine. So I have like a 2-camera setting, or I have just a standard setting this way. I have my phone camera, which is just here. So I can do phone camera. I have a top-down as well, so like a super zoom top-down. And then for the beginning of the show and the end of the show, I have a couple of different variants as well. So I have like an end show that looks like that. I have a start show that looks like that, and then I also have a theme song that I play at the beginning. Yeah, so it's OBS is the name of the software that I use. It's pretty good. It's free. That's why I like it the most. It's free. It's easy to use. It's fairly intuitive. You can do a fair amount with it, and you can put more than 2 screens into the main picture, if that makes sense. So you can have multiples. I could put 5 or 6 different cameras in if I wanted to, but I usually only use these 2, the main ones really, just because it gives you your main screen so people can still see you, and it gives you your sort of focus screen as well. But yeah, that's OBS, dude. So if you want to use OBS, go download it. It's pretty cool. It's fairly easy to use as well, so it's nothing too strenuous. And like I say, it's free. Let's get these rounds in there. There we go. And this side too. Let's get those in. There we are. Get those in there. Cool. Sorry for all the coughing, guys. It's just the end of my it's the end of my COVID. What you're saying in the chat? So cool. I do stream myself and look to getting more cameras on my stream. Yeah. So I only run 2 at the moment. So I've got, well, 3 actually. I've got the camera that is right in front of me. I've got a camera up here, and then I've got my phone. So 3 cameras. I think that's for like a, you know, your average kind of streamer. I don't have a gajillion viewers, so, you know, for me to buy loads of cameras and all the rest of it, I think is just a bit of overkill. But just for what I've got, I think 3 is more than enough. So it depends on your viewership, I guess. And it also depends on the variety of what you want to portray. So if you want to give people lots of variety of camera shots, so for example, Anfield, you're talking about your train sets, you might want to have several cameras in your arsenal so that you can go from one position of the track to the next position, right? So you can actually showcase a variety of different areas that you want your viewers to see that's on your beautiful train layout. So, you know, that might be something you want. Oh, you've got 4 cameras. Okay, nice. So yeah, OBS can take 4 cameras. You can. I don't know what the limit is, but I am sure you can get even more than 4 cameras on OBS. It's pretty good. Only thing I find with OBS, sometimes it drops your settings, which is really frustrating. So I don't like it for that reason alone. But it is pretty good for free. You can't complain. Go. Just doing the little fleur-de-lis on a backpack. Yeah, so when we're talking about creating sort of unique hooks for the world that you visit, I don't know, it could be something really cool, like it's a floating city where, or gravity's reversed or something, or it's just magic item frenzy, so everything is magic. Excuse me, everything is magical. I quite like that idea. I normally run with quite like a high amount of magic items when I run D&D. I like it that way, because otherwise it's too close to the real world. And the real world's freaking boring, right? So you don't want any of that. So I do like a lot of magic in my worlds. One of the worlds I created actually was a makeup of 7 islands, and the history behind the islands is that they all were all one big island, and then the islands separated through seismic shift, and races were sort of trapped. So, you know, there was intermingling of races amongst the islands, but predominantly, like, you had a gnome-led island, you had an orc-led island, etc., and they all had their own areas with a sprinkling of some other races in between, and they all got separated because of this seismic rift, which is quite a cool little thing to do. I quite liked that. And this sort of idea there was to try and get everyone back together. But I haven't played that one here actually at home yet. I might do that at some point. But the one at the moment I'm doing, I've just used the setting of the standard sort of D&D world setting, so Sword Coast, and then just expanded from there. And players currently have just jumped into the Fey world, just for some fun, and I've just kind of run with it, and they're just kind of running wild at the moment in the Fey world, which is really cool. It just gives an opportunity to go absolutely anywhere and do absolutely anything. And as a DM, you're not always prepared for these things, but that's okay. Not being prepared is okay. You don't have to have the answer for absolutely everything. It's more about allowing your players to explore and have fun, because that's what they're there to do, right? They're not there to get bored and bogged down by your crappy rules. They're there to, you know, have a bloody good time, and that's what you want to give them. So yeah, make a hook for your storyline, and make sure it's a good juicy hook so that people can always come back to it and they enjoy working towards that big goal. Whether it's, you know, like a cataclysmic event that's happening. Like, let's use those islands that I talked to you about just then. It could be those islands and where you're actually, it's pre-seismic shift and they haven't separated yet. But that happens when your adventurers are on the islands, right? It could be that. That's quite a cool little hook. And they have to sort of work with the people in the local towns to find a way to do it. But you then find that you've got an adversary, a bad guy that's instigated this. So you have, the idea then is to get the world back together into one piece again. You've got to beat the bad guy. So it's about finding little fun little stories for your players to follow. And it just keeps them engaged and interested rather than things peter out. Always have notes, but don't worry about them being in depth. Because I found if you don't have notes or you don't prepare, you don't read anything beforehand, just remind yourself of what's going on, you fall flat on your ass and you find yourself muddling around for ideas. But if you sort of pre-read things and have a little bit of an idea of where you're taking the session, it can give you a bit more of a steer, which is nicer and you don't feel like you're lost. So that would be my recommendation. Another way for interaction and keeping those players, those pesky players, involved is backstories. So when you get your characters or your players to write or to join your game, get them to write their own backstories and join the game with something that brings them to the party. And by that I mean, it's a hook. It's like a piece of their backstory that means that they're tied to this world. Again, let's use that island concept, right? You could be a dwarven female bread maker, right? Let's say that's your role on the island. When the seismic shift happens, your parents are stranded the other side on the other island and you can't get to them. So, you know, you're now working in the party because and against the villain of the story because you want to reunite your families again. Maybe that's the story. So always try to get a backstory sort of integrated somehow. It doesn't have to be from the start. It can be at any point. So when your players are writing a backstory for their character, just ask them to write something interesting about the character, such as a love of their life or something they've done or an event that they were involved in. And you can bring that to light at any point during the campaign. And you'll find as you bring the players in, they become more invested and they want to win and they want to achieve X, Y, Z because their player's character wants to see their mum again. So, you know, they're kind of racing against time because they're trying to achieve it because it's important to their character. So always try to build in backstories. So that's your next tip. What are we doing for time? Oh, crikey, it's almost an hour. I've been waffling on, haven't I? How are we doing in chat, by the way, guys? How are we keeping? Are we alright? How are we doing? Crikey, I really need to get this sorted. I keep on, as where I'm manhandling this darn thing, I'm taking some of the paint off as well at the same time. That's no good. Again, when you're doing your layers of paint and you're doing them quite thin, that's the other thing that is models are susceptible to until you lacquer them. They can be susceptible for the paint rubbing off, and that's not good. Oh. So yeah, how are we all in the chat? Are we all good? Are we keeping okay? Well, I suppose at this point we could always do our muscle moment, couldn't we? Because we wouldn't be minis and muscles without doing our muscle moment and talking about a little bit about fitness. And this section's normally about 10 minutes long or so. So we'll cover that in a second once I've got these paints all shook up. Let's just scoop a bit of this into my wet palette. Although my wet palette's not looking very wet today. It's looking a bit too dry. I put extra water in it, so I have no clue as to why the little sheet's not sticking down. So who's all these quiet listeners in the background? We've got people watching and we've got nobody saying anything. Come on. Don't be shy. Come and say hello. Talk to me. Let me know. Come and say, hey Steve, I'm so-and-so. I'm from this place. I'm a first-time watcher, or I'm a regular watcher of Minis-N-Muscles. Blah, 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 blah. Tell me a little bit about you. Come on, jump on in that chat. Whilst we're here and we're waiting for you guys to jump on in the chat, let's see if we can just cover off a little bit of this here. So I started to accidentally wipe off this banner. So I'm just going to try and put the layer back on there. There we go. Nothing too crazy. There we are. CR, good evening, Mr. Stevio. Ah, good evening, CR. How are you doing? What's going on? How are you? How has your week been? Have you had a good week, or has it been a bad week? I like watching you paint, getting hint for my painting. Ah, yeah. So I'm not the best painter in the world. Like I say, though, I don't think it's about being the best painter. I use painting for escapism, really. So I can shut off from the world and just enjoy something quietly, rather than having the crazy world hammering down on you all the time like it does. So yeah, so I don't know if you heard earlier when I was talking about my painting tips, but one painting tip that I'm talking about for today was take 3 primary colours for your model. Whatever model you're doing, 3 primary colours, that's it. And work those in, and you have a few detail colours. So if you look at this model, primary is black, white, and a bit of red. That's like your tertiary colour, or secondary colour rather. But black and white is mainly. And then you've got a few sort of accent colours, these golds and metallics that just pop around. Or silver's actually probably more prominent than red, but yeah. 3 is normally your key amount. So if you said silver, black, and white in this model, with red as a bit of a eye catcher, and then you've got a couple of others involved as well. That would be my advice for you. Oh, so your name is Lee Anfield. So welcome, Lee. And are you from Anfield? Is that where you're from? There we go. Just tidying up these guys because I've manhandled this mini a lot, and I think I've taken a load of the paint off when I've been too overzealous. Not really paid attention to how it's looking or how it's working. I've just been like, yeah, just throw it over there, that's okay, that'll do. So that's half the problem, right, when you get carried away. You don't really realise what you're doing. There we go. So, yes, we were going to talk about our muscle moment, weren't we? Because we wouldn't be Minis-N-Muscles if we didn't. So let me just finish this, and we can switch cameras and talk about our muscle moment. Boomf. Alrighty. So, it wouldn't be Minis-N-Muscles unless we talked about a little bit of our muscle moment, where the brawn meets the brush. So we talk about painting, of course we do. We talk about a little bit of fitness. And this week, Anfield is saying he's Liverpool based. Crikey, so we've got them down south watchers, we've got up north watchers, we've got watchers in America, apparently Germany and Netherlands as well. We've got watchers. Who knew that? I never knew that. But anyway, today what I really wanted to talk about with you guys is about, it's a little bit about diet and fat loss, but actually it's predominantly really about weight perception and how you perceive weight. There's this really horrible thing in the world, right, called BMI, body mass index, right, which is an absolute sham. If I went and took a BMI test now, I know it would say instantly that I'm heavily overweight or obese or whatever it charges me at, because I weigh about 90 kilograms, maybe 92 kilograms on a good day, and I'm only 5'7" or so, maybe 5'8" at a push, so it has me down as heavily overweight. And what people get quite fixated on in the world of fitness and health is standing on a set of scales and weighing themselves. I always say, when I used to do personal training for people, I always used to say to them, right, take those scales and throw them out. We don't want them. The best thing that you guys can do for your own sanity, and remember here on Minis and Muscles, we're all about mind and body, but, you know, talking about positivity, talking about mental health and things like that, throw them damn scales away, people. You don't need scales. You do not need them. Not one bit. They mean nothing in terms of weighing yourself. You don't need them at all. What you actually should do, and this is my firm belief anyway, and for the years, you know, the 20 odd years of working in fact longer than that, crikey, yeah, 24 years of doing fitness for a very long time. My advice to you guys would be to take a photograph of yourself, or if you're going to try and achieve a certain look, or you're not happy with how your body looks, take a photograph of yourself in your pants or whatever, or for ladies in your underwear, and take a photograph of yourself and just keep that photograph somewhere to remind you of what you look like, and then just work off of that. Every maybe 2 months, take another photograph and see where you are. Because everyone gets obsessed with, oh, you know, I need to be fit and I need to weigh X or I need to weigh Y. I think that's really a bad way to go. It's not good. It's not motivating, because all you do is end up jumping straight on the scales every blooming week, and it's not good for your own sanity, your own health. I see so many, especially ladies, end up getting caught up in this kind of I must weigh this, you know, or I must be this size or whatever it is. That's not a healthy way, I personally don't think anyway, not a healthy way to live your life. Thank you, CR, very good advice. Yeah, I just don't think it's good. I just think it's really negative, because it pushes really bad sentiment onto people. Like I said, I'm 90 kilograms, and if I went off of weight alone, I would have to shrink down massively. But, you know, I'm not jacked and ripped, but I'm not fat, I'm not overweight, I'm just me. And being you is absolutely fine, and I guarantee you, every single one of you are beautiful people anyway, and you just need to focus on you. Don't worry about everyone else around you and what they're doing and what they're showing you. Worry about you. Like I say, take a photograph of yourself, strip down to your undies, take a photograph of yourself, and then just use that as your reference. That's your base, and then go from there. So what you can do is you can do things like, you know, making sure you do physical exercise at least 3 times a week. That is going to help, but it has to be physical exercise. It's going to push you. You should also try to get in 10,000 steps a day. That's another very important thing you should do. And lastly, you should try to eat a healthy, balanced diet. You can do things like calorie counting, but some people can get a little bit obsessive over that, but you can do that. That's absolutely fine. So just watch, as long as you're not going over the recommended daily allowance, you're getting in your steps a day, you're getting in your exercises every week, you will be fine. Okay, trust me, believe me. Please don't go on these crazy diets that make you, you know, well, if you suck a lemon 24 hours a day and you drink lots of water, you're going to be thin. Yeah, it doesn't work, all right? So just trust yourself on that process. It does take a bit of time, though. It took me to get from a weight of about 72 kilograms up to 90 kilograms, that took me about 5 or 6 years. That's ages, you know, because it just does take a long time. So it's not like a short thing. You can't do it in 2 seconds. So do try to take your time and be patient. Be patient and just love yourself. Love yourself and be patient with it. All right. What else I want to say as well? It's kind of just on that. It's what you look like, really. So that using that photograph of what you look like and how you can look in the mirror and see yourself, or how someone, you know, sometimes we're a bit self-critical. So have a bestie, like, you know, have your best mate. Ladies, have your girl mate, and lads, maybe not so much, because lads don't really kind of share that kind of thing. But you can, if you've got a good mate, you can probably talk to a good mate and say, you know, am I looking okay, or am I looking a bit chunky? You can always ask. But it's what you've got to start to change your way of thinking is that the understanding of remove the weight side of it, because muscle always weighs more than fat anyway. So if you're like me, a bit muscular, you're always going to be a heavy bugger. Hey JPC, stuck at work, get to painting. Oh, I'm gonna, bro, I'm gonna. Yeah, so it's that relation between understanding muscle weighs more than fat, and it's what you look like that counts. All right, so just take that photograph of yourself. Any other questions on fitness at all before we jump back into the usual? Any questions? Any questions? Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to do. Bear with me for 2 seconds. I am still here. I am here. Right, there we go. Okay, so sorry JPC, you missed the start and you missed me saying that today, on today's show, I've got a box of Pokemon freshly sealed. So what I said on my last stream was about collecting things. Engulf yourself in your world of geekdom, embrace it, love it, and be who you are. And, you know, just enjoy collecting things. I love collecting things. And I was talking about the other week around how you can collect stuff and it can be of value and it can be worth something. So it's always worth having a little dabble. And it's fun. It's more of the geek culture. It's more geek people to meet and interact with and hang around with. And that's important. So let's do this. Let's just zoom out a bit. There we go. So we've got a box of Pokemon Shrouded Fable. I don't know much about Pokemon at all, right? No, very little. Apart from I had an original Pokemon box set from America back in 1998. And I kept it sealed and I didn't open it because I didn't want to play it because it wasn't big in the UK then. And I threw them away. And they're probably worth thousands of pounds now. But anyway, so let's get to opening this box and see what's in here, shall we? So, we've never done this before on Minis-N-Muscles, so this is something new. So, if you think this is dog poop and you don't really like it, just say that's absolutely fine. I don't take offence, but wow. First of all, I've got to say, Pokemon, they do quite a nice little arrangement here. This is pretty cool. Let's zoom out a bit more. So you've got this nice like sleeve that goes across it. It's even coloured on the inside as well. It's got pictures on the inside. That's pretty sweet. And then you've got here a little player's guidebook. I shall read that in my downtime because I don't know how to play Pokemon, but I'm going to have a look. And you've got this really nice little box. So the top comes off, and what happened? Oh wow! Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Does this slide out like that? Oh god, I'm confused. That's just a separator. But even that, it's actually really nice. No wonder people like collecting these things. They're actually super cool. Oh, we got some dice. So let's zoom in a little bit. Whoop. No, we need to go that way. Let's bring some light in. We've got some dice here. So we've got a couple of dice. They must be percentile dice of some sort. We've got those. Got a couple of little tokens in there. And we've got what we've got over here. We've got like, what are these? Are there like sleeves or something, or cards or separators? We've got a load of energy. Ooh, you've got a shiny card. That will probably be quite nice. So we've got this lovely shiny card to go through. Alright, we've got a load of protectors in there. We've got a load of packets as well. I think this is what I've seen a lot of people do with Pokemon, is just ripping open packets and showing those. So let's do a bit of packet ripping opening in. Do we reckon we can find... I mean, I don't even know if that one's a valuable one. But do we reckon we can find a valuable one in here? That's the question, guys. So they come in these nice little packages. Alright, let's have a look. Ooh. Oh, God, I can't even get it out. There we go. So, I have seen... Oh, I see a shiny thing there. So let's just go through these cool little cards. Oh, quite nice, though. And we've got a shiny one there. Ooh. A Haxorus. Nice. Okay. I don't think he's a super valuable one, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. We could pull some crazy card. Does anyone in the chat, by the way, play Pokemon at all? Or do they collect Pokemon cards? Let's have a look. Oh, I remember, actually, this character. Eevee. Well, let's see if we've got another shiny one. We've got a couple of shiny ones there, but again, I don't think anything of super value. The reverse hollows, these ones. So if you get like the holographic bit on the outside, but not holographic there, they're called reverse hollows. And if the picture here is holographic, then they're hollows, which is better. So they're the ones that people want to get. Let's have another look. Let's see what we've got on this one. We've got a Golbat, a Meowth. Oh, I remember the cartoon actually having that in. Zubat, Drowsy, Malamar, Iron Moth. Ooh, that's quite a nice one. Oh, he's quite cool as well. Alright, nice, nice. None of them are really pinging out to me saying that I'm super valuable though. So, you know, we were talking about making a collection so that you've got something that you can, you know, have for the future. Oh, that's a basic one. We had the shiny one of that a minute ago. Oh, we've got the basic one of that and a reverse hollow of that. Oh, now that one looks a bit more special, doesn't it? Look at that one. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so let's put that one at the top. Let's put that one next to that. That looks pretty good. You never know. That one might be worth a few bob. So there is an app that I've downloaded. I'm getting really into it, you know. So there is an app that I've downloaded. And you can scan the cards and it tells you the value of every single card. As you know, just take a picture of it. And it says, right, this card is worth X. It's pretty cool. That's quite a nice one. I like that one. Oh, we got him already. Darn. Alright. So we've got a couple more packets to go. Come on, there must be someone in the chat that's played Pokemon at some point. Surely. Surely, surely, surely. Oh, what we got at the back? Oh. No cool shines. This one's the best so far. So this is an EX card. Now, I have heard that EX cards are super cool. So let's just hope that that one's worth a few bob. There's a lot of the same card, though. I have seen... Oh, that's a cool one. I like that. He's cool, too. I have seen a lot of the same card pop up, so that's not making me feel that great for trying to collect this set. I only wanted this set because I like the colours. I like the green and the pink, which I thought were very cool. Oh, he's cool. We'll see. Well, that's a hollow one as well, so that might be half decent. Last packet. Let's see what we got on this one. We haven't found a Pikachu either, have we? Oh, man. That'd be good if we get a Pikachu. Come on, Pikachu. Where are you? Ooh, that's a cool one. Oh, wow. That is a very cool one. Okay, well, I think out of that, the two cool cards that we got were... I mean, we got a lot of cards there, but the two cool ones were these two. Super shiny. Super nice. They're pretty sweet. Hanny Ann in the chat saying, I never played but did have a few. They got banned from my elementary and middle school. Anfield saying, never played any game like that. I've never played either, Anfield. I never played, but I just thought it'd be fun to collect them, right? It'd be fun to collect them. I thought I'd just open them on the live, just to see if it was any interesting to anybody. However, we are back to model painting. There we go. So JPC will be happy and not cursing at me in the background, telling me to hurry up and paint. Sorry, JPC. We're just trying new things, you know. What do we want? We wanted some gold on there. So there's a couple of little trim bits that I wanted to finish off on the model on gold. So we'll try and stick a bit of gold on there. So what is everyone up to for the rest of the weekend now? Or I say the rest of the weekend, the weekend. So who have we had in the chat? Honey, CR, JPC, Anfield. What are you guys doing for the weekend? Come on, hit me up. Tell me. Give me some interesting stuff. What is it you guys are doing? Or are you not doing anything interesting and just being boring gits? That's the question. Because it's the weekend, you should be doing something fun. So what we're doing now is just painting a couple of the little metal areas that hold on these small banners. We're giving it a little gold effect because we haven't used gold over this side of the model. So we shall use it here. What we got there? They're just little tiny little holders, I think. Let's get those in. Anfield saying, I've got goblins to paint. Labyrinth might go the other weekend. Oh, nice. Talking of Labyrinth, do you like Labyrinth the movie? That's the question. Classic movie. Still to this day, I'd happily watch Labyrinth movie. It's bloody brilliant. Bit of David Bowie being a bit funky. Right, we'll tidy the black up on that, so don't panic. It's just about getting a first bit on and then we can go back and tidy afterwards. What's Honey Ann up to? Honey Ann is deep cleaning her house. Deep cleaning her house so I don't disappoint my stepdad when he comes to visit next week. Oh, man. Well, hopefully, Honey Ann, you do not upset your stepfather and you can keep in his good books and he will be happy when he visits you next week. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. It won't take you all weekend to do that. Surely not. I don't think it will. I think you'll be done quicker than you realise. Especially when you get in the mood of something like cleaning, right? It goes quite quick the old time. Just like when I'm doing Minis-N-Muscles live on a Friday. It goes super quick when I'm chatting away to you guys. And I genuinely love it too. It's wicked. Just talking away with you guys. Just shooting the breeze. Talking geek stuff. Just having a nice little sort of community sort of to get together, you know? I enjoy it very much. And I'll tell you next week of how the sisters do and how this tank does in battle on Sunday. So as I said, I'll be taking this tank with me in battle. I'm not sure if I'll use the Mini Steve character in my army yet. Because he does actually play a Warhammer character called the Ministorum Priest. So he does have a set of skills that he can use in-game, which is pretty cool. But I don't think I will use him in that capacity. I think I'll just take the tank as it is. Because I'm not sure if anyone has ever played Warhammer, but each model that you take is a certain amount of points. Honey Ann is saying, oh no, hang about. Anfield is saying I got sent the other subscribe. I'm not quite sure what you mean there, broski. Honey Ann is saying, I appreciate your vote of confidence. Yes, got the confidence in you, Honey Ann. Come on, you can do this. And Anfield is saying, live got great when you're building and chatting. Oh yeah, cheers. I like to do live builds myself. Yeah, man. It's great just to do live builds and just chat away. It's really fun. You know, it's not really often you get to speak to people in this kind of manner and have that kind of ability to speak to people all over the world. So I think YouTube is really cool for that. And it's just nice to talk to other fellow geeks, you know. That's what I like about it. Talking to other fellow geeks and just talking rubbish, chatting away, you know, and just enjoying a Friday night. Because most people, I think, on a Friday night, or quite a few people, certainly when I was younger, you know, you'd go out and you'd spend lots of money on alcohol, right? Let's be fair. That's kind of what you think you should be doing. But that's just not me. Certainly not anymore. I feel way too old for that now. If I go to the pub, I feel like I'm bloody ancient. It just feels like there's kids around. Well, I suppose they are kids, but yeah, I'm not really one for the pub. A lot of people there just act like douchebags. Yeah, just getting that little skull done. Yeah, so so let's just come back to where we are. You know, we were talking about D&D earlier, wasn't we, as our sort of main chat. And one thing I was sort of talking about was trying to bring to life the scenario for your players so that they have more to enjoy. And we were talking about a variety of different ways to do that. One of the ways to do that, I believe, is creating memorable characters. Memorable characters that they can meet and interact with on a regular basis. So they want to go back to that same character and see that same character again and again. That is so important. I created a character that in my game, my home game that I do, that the players loved so much, they adopted him and they took him from his current home where he was living and took this non-player character to their own home and placed him there. So this character was called Schnurgle, and he worked for a rather mean rich man, and the players didn't like that. So they told him, or they asked him if Snurgle wanted to come and live with them. So he did. And now they have this sort of comedic kind of a little bit simple individual that, you know, chats to them about XYZ when they come home from adventures, or makes them food, or he tidies their house and looks after their house for them when they're gone. It's absolutely hilarious. And having little characters like that players can connect to is really important. Like, it could be a good shopkeeper that is really memorable because he's eccentric, or he has the best deals in the land, or whatever that is. Give the players something to buy into. So again, they feel immersed. They feel part of that world. That's really the aim of the game. And you won't always get it. I don't always get it, that's for sure. But making your players feel part of the game is so important. What we got going? Oh, Squarish is on. He's saying howdy. He's a bit late. Hey, better late than never, Squarish. Better late than never. So welcome to the stream. Anfield is saying, I got the goblin sent to me of a subscriber. Anfield is saying, hi, Squarish. Schnurgle is such a great NPC name. Yeah, Schnurgle is very cool. Like I say, he's a little simple character. He's a bit of a hunchback of Notre Dame looking type person. He's only very short, very small, but he's absolutely lovable. He's kind, he's endearing. He always tries to help the party, even if he does cock up a little bit. He's always trying to help them and do the best for the party, right? That is his aim. But he's just a lovable fool. And sticking in characters like that's brilliant. I've got another game that I run online, and one of the memorable characters is a shopkeeper, and this shopkeeper is super eccentric, flamboyant, over the top, absolutely Mad Hatter type character. But again, the players absolutely love him, even though, you know, it can be a bit cringy, the things this character says to them or whatever. The players love it. They absolutely love it. So give your players memorable characters to find, to work with, to go back and visit, and I guarantee you they will feel more engrossed, and they'll feel more interested in taking part in the storylines purely because of that fact. I will bet any money on it. It's really, really cool. Lastly, as well, I wanted to say on the sort of D&D side, for sort of helping with the storylines and making engaging sort of plots and all the rest of it, the last kind of step to it is having those arch nemesis kind of protagonist that can foil the party, or can tease them, or can be a really difficult boss. And when it comes to the fighting of that boss, you know, it's about sort of having really memorable battles with them, whether it's super hard or super easy. It's making it memorable for one reason. I don't know, it could be that you have this battle and it is in the middle of a cave, and every time the players move, something happens in the cave and the rocks fall down on someone's head. Or, you know, the ground shakes, or whatever it is, but have something memorable for the players when they're in this battle. So not only did they defeat the big bad, but they say, oh my god, do you remember when that battle happened and XYZ went on? So it's always, you always want to try and stick in something special. And then I guess that was my last point, but lastly, on the D&D side, creating memorable stories for your characters and engaging quests, is that the more love you put into your stories, the more love you'll get out from your players, and you'll even enjoy it more yourself. So get stuck in, put your time, put your energy, put your soul, put your personality into it, and I guarantee you'll have an awesome session. So I'm just doing a few bolts across the hull there. Oh no, I've just lost my camera. What happened there? Oh, that's weird. God. Squarish is saying in chat, I'm reading through a book about proactive roleplay at the moment. It focuses a lot on NPCs and how their roles align. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely agree, mate. I'm going to have to plug my camera in, is what I'm going to have to do. I think I'm going to lose my feed, though. Yeah, my camera has died, guys. Apologies. I'm having to plug it in. Let's see if it comes back. Come on. Hey, there we go. Oop, there we are. There we go. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Squarish, in what you're saying. With you know, adding in those NPCs, they can be really, really game changing. Really game changing. So, quick tip for your painting. When you're doing little bolts like this, the best way to do them is to get a fair amount of blob of paint on your brush, and you're doing the lightest stroke possible across the top of the surface only of these little blobs, and because you've got excess paint, it just falls off, and just enough to look like an actual nut and bolt. So just get that blob on your paintbrush, and then just literally, you can go around as quick as I am now, just dropping paint on, and you'll see the more the more you do, obviously the paint comes off, obviously. It's a stupid thing to say, Steve, but the more you do, then you'll find that you'll have to press just slightly harder onto those pronounced features of the miniature that you're painting. So blob up on your paintbrush and then just run the paintbrush very gently across that raised surface. Again, if you just go over slightly, don't panic. It's no big deal. We can sort and fix that later. Let's just roll this way. Do this side now. There we go. Again, as well, when we're talking, we're talking about the D&D side, and we're talking about music and things like that. I think music's super important. But even on this stream, if you're doing a stream, why don't you, stick some music in the background? Even this music that I've got on now, it's not perfect, but it adds to the overall value of what you're watching, right? So if I ever stop talking at any point, like that, you're not filled with complete silence. You actually have something in the background. So when, like me, I'm sort of recovering from a little bit of man flu, whatever it was, I can take a breather and it not be completely silent on the stream, so you guys think something's up. There we go, a couple of little bolts done. Let's just wash that off. Yeah, so slowly we're getting there with this, guys, aren't we? We're getting there. Starting to add the last little bits, really, to this. It's not a huge amount, really, to finish. It's more about the detail of it. And that won't really take long. It's just a bit finicky. So you just got to take your time. Take your time on it. We're just dropping these bolts on right now. And again, for when you're doing sort of close-up work like this, you can't really see my hands, but my elbow is braced up against the desk, and I'm using my other hand to support my painting hand, just so that I don't shake and go all over the place. There we go. Not that I'm too shaky, but I'm not the steadiest. Right, there we go. One little one just in there. I think that I might have to go around with the black and just tidy up in places though, but that's okay. We can take that. Well, there's two little ones on the back I didn't do. Let's do those. There we are. Do that as well. Yeah, so we're coming there, aren't we, guys? We're getting there with this one. Slowly but surely. And it's been, from a kit bash aspiration, we were just chatting at the end of finishing one of the last models, saying, oh, what should we do next? And one of the guys in the stream said, oh, why don't you do a kit bash? And I wasn't sure to begin with, but actually this has turned out really cool, and especially that. Look at that. I look at that all the time, that stained glass window. I'm like, that's so freaking epic. So I'm really loving that. Nice. What we're saying in chat. So Anfield is saying, I put music to my videos when I'm building kits. And he's saying, it looks good, Steve. Thank you. Great paintwork. Thank you very much, Anfield. I appreciate that, brother. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's looking alright. It's not too bad. I mean, there's still lots to do on this. This is by no means finished. But we are getting there slowly, slowly. It just takes a bit of time. As long as you're patient, you'll be fine. There we go. Getting my Battle Sister's hair done. She's having a hair dye today, ladies. If there's any ladies watching, that is. I don't know if there's any ladies watching. You might have run away. Yeah. So I can't wait to play this actually in the game on Sunday. That's going to be cool. But I know for a fact that my buddies are going to target this tank just because they want to kill the Steve Mini. So, which I think is really mean, isn't it, guys? They shouldn't want to kill the Steve Mini. That's just really mean. At some point, I say it all the time, but at some point when we reach, you know, loads more followers, we'll release the Steve Mini for sale, for general sale. And we'll have everyone painting their Steve Minis, and we'll have a Steve Mini painting competition. We need a fair few more viewers first though, right? But you never know, it could happen, it could happen. There we go. He's saying a lot of detail on it, Anfield. Yeah, there is. There is lots of little bits on here. As you sort of go around and you see every little bit. And, you know, the camera doesn't, as always, doesn't really do it justice. But there are some really cool little parts on here. Honey Ann's saying, on your Warhammer game on Sunday, I feel they wouldn't be your friends if they didn't target you. Yeah, fair one. Yeah, that is true, you know. I expect it, to be honest. I expect it. But maybe I should just bring the Steve Mini into the battle on Sunday. Because then they'll focus on my Steve Mini and they won't focus on the rest of the stuff that I'm doing. Maybe that's the way forward. You know, it's the art of distraction, right? Allow them to think that they've got the upper hand. And, you know, oh no, don't kill my Steve Mini. But actually it's all a ploy. Steve Mini is just a sacrificial miniature. He is there purely to absorb rounds and to take hits like a trooper, like he is. So maybe that is what the Steve Mini is for. We just sacrifice him to the lambs. What do we think? Do we sacrifice him? What we got here? Anfield saying, Steve, if you got Discord, you got to go to my Discord server. Yeah, Anfield, happy to join. You have to do the same though, sir. So you have to join my Discord server. So the Minis-N-Muscles Discord server. So if you go into the more info tab on my YouTube homepage, you will see the link tree there. Go to the link tree and you can follow it to the Discord. Hopefully the link is still working. Please do let me know if it's not working, but it should be. So you should be able to join the Minis-N-Muscles server. There we go. What else are you saying? Well, that you have just announced your strategy. Yeah, oops. Squarish is saying, it looks like it would make a great objective unit. Have it so that you protect it until it reaches an objective marker while the other army has to stop it. Yeah, that's true, actually. Nice. And Anfield is saying he's done it. He's joined the Minis-N-Muscles Discord. Well done, Anfield. And he's saying yours is in your about. Yeah, cool. I shall take a look after the stream, sir. Right, where were we? Oh yeah, we were doing the hair on our lady, weren't we? We need some skin tone really on her, don't we? That's what we need. This lady. Do you know what? One of the hardest things I find painting, and anyone correct me if they find it different. Painting black skin tones is really hard. So it doesn't look like complete trash and fake. I find it so hard to get the levels of paint right. Don't do particularly good. We're going to try. I think that's too dark. Yeah, too dark. Let's try and lighten this up. So we're going to just try and mix up some skin colour tone now for our gunner on the front. Let's see how we do. I don't even know if that's right. You guys can't see what I'm mixing up to the side. Sorry. But I'm going to try this paint, see what it looks like. See what it looks like when it goes on. Hopefully it'll be okay. I just find it's really difficult to mix up a good looking sort of black colour or brown skin colour that looks right. It just never seems to work. Oh, it's not too bad. Alright, maybe we can get away with this one. Maybe this will look alright. Let's try this. Actually, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Ah, nice one. I've actually found a good... inadvertently found a good mixture there. So I've used for this Rhinox hide and Corax white to mix up a skin tone for brown. So if anyone is struggling to make a brown coloured or brown coloured, dark coloured skin tone, that's what I've used for this model. You might not be able to see it actually because of the darn lights. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. There we go. Let's do that. Oh god, there we go. There we are. There, you should be able to just about see. There we are. Okay. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Sorry, I'm sort of faffing around on the camera angles here. As I said the other week, I should never have stuck on the stained glass window. It makes the model really difficult to paint because then you're kind of swinging it around trying to avoid everything. And I know I'm going over the hair now. I know. Should have done the hair second really and done the neck beforehand. Oh, it's hilarious. I keep on getting whiffs of my dinner that I ate in here before. Every now and then, breathing in, I smell it. What's everyone having for dinner tonight? Has everyone had their dinner? What are you having? Tell me, tell me. I want to know what you're having for dinner. Oh, that's a really difficult angle, that. Oh no, come on. Get in there. Go on. Right, okay. Alright, I think we've got my beautiful lady done. Right, okay, that's good. What we're saying in chat. Your link, your Discord is not working. Oh, bum. Why is that not working? I changed that the other week. I don't know why it keeps changing. I don't get that. Surely once you create a link, it should stay active. Had my dinner, had soup. Oh, nice. Did you have tomato soup? What soup did you have? In my D&D game, they actually had pea and ham soup in my D&D game last night. Dinner is hours off, but likely a cheeseburger. Ooh, it's Friday. Yeah, Honey Ann. Like it. So yes, Honey Ann, you are in the US of A. So you are on a very different time scale to us here in the UK. But that's alright. That's okay. Right, let's just get this paint on this scroll. Another little scroll to paint. You notice with my painting as well, I kind of go from one bit to the other bit and I just sort of flip between everything. I never really stick on one thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just do that bit now. Oh yeah, I'll do that bit. That bit's cool. I'll do that bit now. It's not particularly the best way to paint, but my attention span is really small, so I end up just flitting between. Right, so that there, the back of this looks really messy. But don't fear, I've got to re-go over that with the cables that are running behind, so that will get tidied up. I just want to get the white in place first, or the creamy off-white colour. Once that's in place, I can then do the rest. I think as well, what I probably should have done, retrospectively, is I probably should have painted these items before I stuck them on. Again, with like things like this flag, things like that get in the way, or this little bit here that I'm painting now, you know, it all sort of gets in the way and gets trapped and gets stuck, and then you can't actually paint what you want to paint because it all gets in the bloody way. So, you know, it makes it difficult. So my advice to you, another little tip of the day, is don't stick all the parts on the model before you start painting. Again, me being me, I got impatient and I just was like, no, I want them on there, so I'm going to glue them on, and I want it all in one piece. It's not always the best way to do it. So yeah, I would advise you don't do it that way. You take your time and you be patient. Unlike your pal here, Steve, at Minis-N-Muscles, you take your time, you be patient, and you do it very slowly, rather than rushing. Rushing never seems to work. We're just getting in there. Again, with this little box, this little voice box thing, we'll come back and do the detail. I just want to get the brown box itself back. I want to get that coloured. And then we can go back and put all the details on, like the little fleur-de-lises and the little bits of copper and things like that. We'll go back and put those on shortly. Just another little bit of colour. Oh, we've got 10 minutes left. Crikey. Another stream that's flown by. Absolutely flown by. It's gone really quick. But it always does, like I say. It feels like it goes so fast when I'm chatting away to you guys. It does make painting far more enjoyable when you're doing it with your friends. And you're chatting crap and you're opening Pokemon cards and whatnot. That was quite fun, actually. I quite enjoyed opening the Pokemon cards. It's quite interesting. We'll have to use my phone before we finish the app and scan that one or the two really shiny cards that we got, just to see if they're worth anything. I doubt they are, but you never know. They might be worth a penny. Because some of them Pokemon cards go for an absolute fortune. The original stuff and the rare stuff, I don't know how rare the items are that I've even got. You know, it could be something. Alrighty, that's that little box done. Steve, oh, sort out your Discord. Yeah, I will sort out the Discord. Discord gives you options when you make the link. You will need to set it to be a permanent one with unlimited uses. Ah, nice one, Squarish. Okay, yeah. Hint taken, Anfield. I will do it. I will do it as quickly as I can. So as soon as this stream is over, I will get to work on the Discord, and I will find a way to sort this out. It's very unacceptable, isn't it? Very unacceptable. So I shall make sure that I rectify that problem as quickly as possible. There we go. There we are. Yeah, I did wonder why that kept happening. I'm not particularly great on that kind of thing, so it's all right. Right, so last 5 minutes of the show, guys. Last 5 minutes. Any questions from anyone that's online at the moment? Oh, this is really tricky, actually, painting these. Yeah, again, bad mistake. Putting these in situ. Not good. Should have painted them first. To be fair, quite often when I am painting models, actually, I do paint items on the sprue. Or give them a quick dash of colour whilst they're on the sprue, and then I sort them out in earnest once they're actually onto the model. But part painting on the sprue can be really helpful because you can get to those areas that you can't normally get to. So there's a tip of the day for you if you're looking at the models that you're painting. Try part painting on the sprue. Don't do everything because, you know, I'm not telling you that this is the gospel way to do it. But try part painting on the sprue, guys. Take those items that you've got, paint away on the sprue, give it a bit of a base of colour, and then cut it out, then glue it to the model once the model is in the position where it can receive the item that you're painting, right? Give that a bash. See how you think that works for you. I've always found it to be pretty good, pretty helpful. It allows you to paint the areas that you can't get to, and just brings out that little extra bit of detail, and you're not sort of going and doing what I am now and trying to sort of cover things up, change things, do X, Y, Z at a really difficult angle. That's always the worst. Because you never quite get it, and then you'll always look at that little bit afterwards and go, oh bloody hell, I should have done that the other day, and I should have done it like this, but I didn't. So always give it a go. It's worth a shot, trust me. Just tidy that up. There we go. Tidy that one. Got a little bit there to do. Right, how are we looking on the back here? Last little bit. So what I'm doing now, guys, I'm just going around with a bit of black. After I've done a load of silver, I'm just tidying up the edges. So where I've done a little bit of overspill, or I've been a bit crazy with the paint, just go back around with your black, or what would be your primary colour for the object that you're painting. Go around and just fill those gaps or those little mistakes. So where I've just done a bit of overrun there on that. Oh, sorry, a bit of overrun there on this. I'm just filling in the little gaps there. And apologies when I go out of view. I do that a lot and I forget that you guys can't see. I can see fine, but you guys can't. Thank you very much, Anfield. Appreciate you joining. First time chatter. So great to have you on board. Right, let's just do the last bits there. Okay. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you whilst I've been painting away. So hopefully you will come back in the next few weeks, or next week, sorry, and you'll say hello again. I am losing my voice slightly, so I don't think I've spoke this much consecutively since I got my man flu. So hopefully it'll bugger off though, and I don't have to put up with this anymore because it's absolutely infuriating. I don't know about you guys, but when you get a cold, it's a nightmare. You get all bunged up and you can't talk properly, and ugh, yuck. I don't like it, I tell you, I don't like it. Squarish is saying I just sent a Discord DM with the settings you need to use to make it perpetual unlimited. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that one. I definitely need to get my button gear and take a look at that, because that would be very helpful. I did wonder why it kept on expiring. I was like, why does this keep cutting out? And people say to me they can't join the Discord. That's just stupid. I made the link. I know it works. And then I go and try it and it doesn't work. So now you have enlightened me, sir, on why that could possibly be. And yes, you'll notice I still lick my paintbrush. I know it's a bad habit. I should stop, but it's water-based paints. It's not going to kill me. Just don't copy me. That's all I say. There we go. That little bit. There we go, there we go, there we go. Sorted, sorted, sorted. Alrighty. Get a little bit of white in there. And a bit of gold as well. We're going to need a smaller paintbrush though. Just for this tiny little bit, because it's a little bit of a pain in the butt area to paint. Here we go. Getting the gold in there just for the whatchamacallums, the brackets as such. Just want to spread that. Seem to have pulled in there, that brass colour. And I didn't want it to pool, I just wanted it to look nice. There you go. Oh, man down, tank's rolling. Okay, and the white, we want one little bit of white, and I think that will probably be us. For the evening anyway. Let's just get the white on that. There we go. There we are. So we've got your white in there, you've got your brass. Should be tidied up really, that's not that great around there. It's okay, we've got a bit of time, we've got another 30 seconds or so just to whiz round. One thing you'll find as well, guys, if you do like do your painting and you've got a little bit of overshoot, what you can do, or as if there's a bit that hasn't quite merged like you thought it should or would, it doesn't quite look right, if you've got some shade paints, so things like Agrax Earthshade, which is a Citadel paint, or some kind of wash, you can use that to fill the space. So like in this model here, am I in camera? So if you're looking at this model here, and you're looking at these sort of golden hinges, if you feel that there's too much on show around it, just get some of that Agras Earthshade and dump it over the golden hinge. It will. I can't do it right now because it's wet, but it gives it like a shadow effect, and it fills the voids. So where you haven't got paint and you've missed little tiny bits, it actually fills it, so it doesn't look terrible, and it looks like it should do. So that is a little tip for you if you're doing any painting you can't quite get into the area. Get that shade paint, Agrax Earthshade, or something like that, or Nuln Oil. Get in there with it, and just drop it on there, just so it fills out all the shade areas. Right, okay. Little by little we get there, guys. Little by little. But it's looking okay. It's looking alright. So let's just take there. Let's get the old phone cam out. And there she is. So there's the tank, and that's what it looks like. So I'll just do a little 360 around. You can see all the nicety bits there. Let's just turn it that way, and you can see the little area we've just painted just now. So this little box here, you can see that. We painted the bolter earlier, so we've got the bolter painted now, and we've got her hair and a little bit of detail on her armour. There you go. But it's looking alright. There you go, there's from the back. There is detail in the back, but I don't know if you can see it or not. There is like a bolter at the back and things like that in the door. But yeah, that is the tank so far. Alrighty. So let's switch back to our main view. So, what we got in chat before we wrap up this evening? Anfield's just saying a great stream. Great to be in the stream. Yeah, it's great to have you, and we will see you next week. Squarish is saying my full Acadia guards gets a healthy dose of Nuln Oil. Yeah, it's really good for filling in the little bits you can't quite get into. So just get that shade. Let's just bring in the two shades that I use the most. So these two shades here. There you go. So there's Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade. Okay, they are Citadel. These aren't too bad. They still work and they still seem to be doing the business. Just drop it over the area, and the paint sprawls into all the gaps and the creases where you couldn't possibly get your paintbrush, and it fills it to make it look like shadow, so you don't have to get your paintbrush in there, right? So it's a little tip and trick. We're all about that to make things look nice. Anfield's saying nice work, looks great. Lots of detail, great stream, great job. Thank you very much. Well, to everybody on the channel who has been here this evening, let's lower that a bit. Thank you all very, very much for being here. It is an absolute pleasure to spend my Friday nights with you to chat. Chat stuff, chat models, chat geek, chat painting, chat Pokemon, chat whatever we do. D&D was our top topic tonight, but it's really good just to have you along, just to chat and talk and expand our community into something that is a wonderful place to be, that's supportive, that's helpful, that's kind, and full of geekiness, right? And a little bit of fitness on the side. So we covered off our tank. We spoke loads about D&D and how to make things more immersive for your players. We spoke about our fitness journeys and how that we want to, you know, take a step back from the scales and weight and actually just take a look at yourself and how you appear. That's more important than the number on the scales. We did some Pokemon openings. So we did open the Pokemon. Oh, that's what we were going to do, weren't we? So let me see if I can do that quickly. So one of the cards we got in our Pokemon cards this evening was this little fella, which looked quite cool. And we also got this one that looked quite cool. So these ones are like really, really shiny. More shiny than the others. Now, I do have an app that allows me to scan a card and it instantly tells you how much they're worth. So let's take a laugh here before we finish the stream. And let's just see how little these cards are actually worth. It's going to be quite amusing, I think. Right, here we go. So, first card up. Let's just scan that. Let's see if it finds it. And put it to one side. Oh, okay, that's not... Oh, no, I don't even think that's the right card. It's not even found the right card. God, that's embarrassing. Let's try this one. Come on. This is this card. Whatever this little geezer is. Oh, wow. So, ungraded and raw, which this is 10 quid, right? This card alone. When you send them off and you get cards graded, they possibly double, triple in value. So that would be a good one. All right, so we did find something good tonight. Huzzah! Take it easy anyway, guys. It's nice to wrap up with you on a high. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure that you, stay healthy mind, stay healthy body. Enjoy your geeky hobbies. Hang out with your friends. Love one another and just enjoy and relax. It is the weekend, all right? Once again, thank you all for joining. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with me. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the support. Likes, shares, subscribes, turn on the notification bells, jump on the Discord. I will sort that Discord link out, and I will see you all next week. Take it easy. Ta-ra. Bye-bye.
Minis-N-Muscles, we're heroes rise. The tiny world's still mighty skies. Rushing air, we're power we fight. Strength that makes you light in the night. Where the brawn meets the brawn. Your story's told in this land of imagination mode. With every stroke, adventures unfold. Minis-N-Muscles, heart and soul. To explore, roll the future, hear the dice roar, gaining realms of muscles drawn, together in this place where we belong. Doting spells, casting dreams until the dawn, leveling up and the world to follow.